Hey guys, it's me, RSC Studios, and I'm back with another video. Now, this video is going to be about what if the Soviet Union plus Warsaw Pact fought with NATO in the middle of the Cold War, circa 1971. So, this is the map. If you guys can see it well, that you must be able to see it well. And let's start. So, at this point in time, there was huge tensions between the US coalition and the South and the Soviet Union control coalition. But here's what happens. So it starts off with Soviet and East German troops entering into West Berlin and taking it over. And then troops from West Berlin start entering into East. Sorry, I mean soldiers from West Germany and start entering into East Germany. Meanwhile, in on the Alaskan front, on this end of Russia, US troops are making their landings. Make one more landing down here in the south, where they also push up north. I was actually thinking about adding some more nations like India, Pakistan, Vietnam, Afghanistan, all these nations which were supporting different sides at the time. So the US has made its own landing on its own ends, but their troops haven't reached up here yet. So the Soviets push in. The Soviets push out parts of Norway, and they do aerial attacks until Norway has only this much territory left. Yeah, and they also managed to push off these American troops. But the ones at the bottom only get much north, and they take over this entire peninsula, plus the island of Sakhalin. 1 second, please. I don't know what happened here. So they completely have access to the island now. But along with all of these negativities happening to the Soviet Union, there's one more negativity that happens to them. They completely lose East Berlin. East Germany, sorry, they completely lose East Germany. And some surrounding territory. Now Norway tries to claim territory back, but they can't. But now the Soviet Union tries to break this, and they end up landing on a few parts of Alaska. And they attempt to completely cut them off from this part of the coastline. But the US does manage to push these two uh, soldiers out. But this one base is formed here. Now, anyways, now we look at the Turkish front. Turkey hasn't seen much of the war yet, but now Soviet troops are invading Turkey. But the Turkish troops are sprung into action, and they cut in, and they completely go ahead for the Caucasus, along with some US troops. And now we come to the members of the Warsaw Pact. The Warsaw Pact is not sitting idle doing nothing. They're also trying to now their first attempt is to cut off Greece and Turkey, which they are very successful. They completely cut Greece and Turkey off, and this they won't be able to reconnect for a long time. Then they also cut back into Germany and try taking a bit more territory. But here they get pushed back, even further than what they were already pushed. Because in this case, Poland completely loses access to the sea. Now the Turks, they can't get back to Greece, but they do one thing: they completely cut out the Warsaw Pact off from water itself, because they now have no access to the Black Sea either. Sorry, I didn't notice that this part was also connected to the sea, so not completely, but almost. They've still got access to the Mediterranean, but they're almost completely cut off. Now the Soviets take back some of this territory, but they get pushed back. But because this of the small Polish flank in this area, Poland quickly reclaims all this territory. Now, one factor we have to see closely in this war is economic factor, because at this point in time, the US had a much better economy than the Soviets. Now they're stuck in a stalemate here in Europe, but America managed to break the stalemate in Asia, because they completely dominate in this area, and they take this entire region of Siberia on the east. And they also take back the old territories they had here. Now, but it looks like the Soviet Union has already lost, but they haven't. So, in an effort to reclaim coastal territories here in the Black Sea, the Warsaw Pact just fights back. And also, troops from Poland enter into Germany and attempt to cut it off, and they're successfully cutting off this part of all of Denmark and Germany. But then German troops just come back and completely surround the Polish troops. Now we haven't seen any action up in the north. But there's action now because US troops have just landed in coastal cities of Norway. And now the main battle begins. Because Norway is gonna just reclaim its territory that it lost. And now because of this third base, US troops get around the Soviet defenses, and the Warsaw Pact is completely cut off from the Soviet Union. Now this invasion is quick, but that's only because the US troops are well prepared for this. And the Warsaw Pact is completely surrounded on all ends by US or US allies. And now troops from the blue side enter completely into the Warsaw Pact, and it surrenders. It is now left with only the Soviet Union left to fight. So now the effort becomes bigger, with much larger number of troops entering the Soviet Union. So they first quickly take over this northern peninsula and also the city of St. Petersburg and Archangelsk. I don't know how to pronounce it, just please don't feel offended. Troops now go from Korea, sorry, not Korea, I mean Turkey, sorry. And Moscow has also been captured. So the capital is now shifted to Nur Sultan, or basically Nur Sultan at the time, basically in Kazakhstan, which is now the new capital of the Soviet Union. And then aerial attacks from nearby countries like Turkey, Norway, and like in Greece. They have aerial attacks all throughout the entire country until a certain point where the revolts just break out in large numbers in the east and then also in the west. And these revolts just interconnect and divide the Soviets. So the northern part surrenders, and then after a lot of war, the southern part also surrenders. Now let's just go back and let's see how this country gets divided up. So yeah, now we're back. The Warsaw Pact completely gains freedom. Basically, these borders will be pretty similar to what they are today, except a few small differences. These borders will be pretty similar to what they are today. Basically, German reunification happens. Basically, all this part becomes NATO. Now let's just go back. Actually, let's just go very back. I'll just open a new map. I'll just open up a new map. Yeah. So now let's just see how it gets divided up. Now I won't be highlighting any of the countries. I'll just show how the borders get divided up. So the original Soviet territory, basically German reunification happens. All of these Soviet territories and Warsaw Pact countries get freedom, with Czechoslovakia also existing. And now this massive part of Russia. I think in this universe, Russia won't exist. It'll get divided up between its neighbors and the nations who fought the war. So this territory will basically be given to Norway because it took part in the war. This is all Norwegian territory. Then basically Belarus won't exist because here there will be there will be a lot of Soviet influence in Belarus, so it won't exist and it'll also get divided. Ukraine will get all this, and then Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia will also get little territory. Poland will get all of this, and Ukraine will also get some extra territory. This all and Crimea, which is already theirs. Poland will get the remaining part of Kaliningrad. Then Lithuania, Latvia, and Estonia will also get this remaining territory. Just remember that all these nations will become NATO members right after the war ends. Then Japan will get a massive sphere of influence, even though it didn't take part in the war, because it was the US, because the US had a lot of dominance in this area at the time and still does. Japan gets all this region for in its jurisdiction. The Caucasus will have a union, and this union will give them the remaining territory that they'll get. Kazakhstan will also get some territory because it was once part of the union. And this remaining region will be made into a international trading zone. This remaining land will become that, where it will basically be controlled by NATO in the end, but yes, it will be an international trading zone. Now, one more thing is all of these ex-Soviet countries will all become NATO members. They'll all get NATO membership, and the new NATO will look like this. I'm showing it in black just because black is the easiest color to show it in right now. I forgot to show that Yugoslavia doesn't break up in this universe, but yeah, Yugoslavia won't break up in this. Also, Spain joins after this whole war happens. And this remaining international trading zone will also become part of NATO, but in a different section altogether. And Japan will definitely not become part of NATO because it's not in the Atlantic. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please subscribe, like, comment if you want. We are almost at 50 subscribers. We're 41 subscribers when this video is made. But yeah, we're almost at 50. And then I want to get even further than that, maybe 100 and onwards. But thank you. Whoever subscribed, I'm really thankful. And whoever is not subscribed but just enjoys the videos, I'm thankful to you too. Thank you.